In this video, we will present our project for machine learning classification of poisonous mushroom. First, a little context on the mushroom side of the project is necessary before moving on the machine learning side of it. In Chile, there have been several cases of poisoning and death by mushroom consumption since 1935, and in the last 20 years, there have been 7 deaths by the same cause, with the last death being recorded in May 2024. Our objective is to create a model capable of classifying the type of mushroom as poisonous or edible. The contribution we seek to make with the creation of this classification model is to help identify mushroom in medical emergencies and in crop harvesting.
Found the data in UC Irvine, or University of California's machine learning repository, which is a collection of databases, domain theories, and data generators that are used by the machine learning community for the empirical analysis of machine learning algorithms. The dataset is called Mushroom. It has 8,124 instances and 23 variables, which are categorical. It was uploaded in the year 1987 and comes from the Audubon Society Field Guide. Mushrooms described in terms of physical characteristics, classification, poisonous or edible. This dataset includes description of hypothetical samples corresponding to 23 species of gilt mushrooms in the Agaricus and Lepiota family. In the following table, all the variables and their respective features are shown.
In order to adjust the data, we first converted all of the features into factors. If we work with the data as it came in the Excel file, RStudio sometimes thinks that we are dealing with a regression problem, but we wanted to clarify that we are focusing on classification problems. After this, we check if there were any missing values, and in our case, there were none. Lastly, we deleted the veil type feature because even if it can take a value of P for partial or U for universal, in the Excel file, it only contains partial, so it doesn't really add any useful information for classification. To analyze the data, we decided to apply a random forest method. This basically runs several decision trees and then merges the results of those trees into a single outcome. To achieve this, the first step is to make a 10-fold cross-validation, meaning that the dataset is going to be partitioned into 10 groups of the same size. Through this cross-validation, we got an M-try value of 4, meaning that this is the best average performance across the 10 folds. With all of this done, we split the dataset into 70% of the information being used to train the model and the remaining 30% of the information being used to test the model. These are the results that we obtained through the analysis. First, I wanted to talk about the confusion matrix. As you can tell, the model predicted the results perfectly, meaning that there were no false positives or false negatives. After this, we decided to study the mean decrease Gini of each of the features. This is a coefficient that measures how each of the variables contributes to the final model. The higher the value, the higher the importance. In our case, the most important feature to classify the mushroom as edible or poisonous is odor, followed by yield color and yield size.
Fine. The random forest model used was able to perfectly classify if mushrooms were edible or poisonous. We believe that the model could significantly help to prevent cases of poisoning by mushroom consumption, giving it a great possibility of practical use, where, through the analysis shown in the previous section, we were able to find the most important variables.
However, the excellent results produced by the model can also be explained by various factors that can't necessarily be attributed to the model itself. On one hand, mushrooms are a very well-researched topic. Therefore, their classification and specifically their data collection is probably not as prone to errors and mishandling as it could be the case for other fields of study which depend much more on human capabilities to register data. For example, any physics-related experiments. On the other hand, this specific dataset could just be very well curated for machine learning purposes, since there is only a minor chance of having achieved these results by pure chance, thus making the results of this project very dependent on this specific dataset.